Hi everybody, Kirsten here, and baby Owen. Since it is February, I thought I'd go ahead and start out this month with a romance recommendation video. As most of you know, I read a lot of romance. I love it. It is what got me into reading in the first place. It is one of my favorite genres, and I read all sorts of romance. I love all of it. If it has romance in it, I eat it up. I love it. I love romance. So I'm going to go ahead and just dive right on in because there is a long list of books that I am recommending today. And I want to make sure that I get them all in here without talking too quickly, since I have a tendency to do that when I'm trying to rush through a 10-minute video. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to start with my e-reader first, just because I do read the majority of my romance novels on my e-reader, so I apologize that I had to show you book covers on my e-reader, but that's just kind of how it's going to be today. The first book that I want to talk about is by K.A. Tucker, and that is He Will Be My Ruin. This book is actually coming out in paperback on Valentine's Day, which is Tuesday. So if this is a book that you've been wanting to read but don't want to shell out the $26 for the hardcover, the paperback will be out this week. The thing that I love about K.A. Tucker is she writes these amazing thriller romance novels. She has a couple series. Well, I have one of the books over here. So Bearing Water is another thriller series that she has that has several different books that follows several different narrators, and they all kind of encompass the same kind of crime mystery aspect of a romance, and so it's really neat. They remind me of thriller novels, but the main focus is the romance, so it's kind of neat. He Will Be My Ruin is my favorite of her books that I've read so far. It is about a young woman that goes to New York because her friend Celine has passed away tragically. She killed herself. And so she is going to New York to kind of go through her things in her apartment, kind of get everything ready since Celine's mom is unable to do it for her. And she stumbles across some clues, decides that maybe, she wasn't, she didn't kill herself. It was more of someone murdered her. So it's kind of her going throughout the book trying to figure out what actually happened to Celine. And it is a thriller, and I cannot talk about any of the men in this book because I feel like if I tell you anything about any of the men in this book, it will give it away. The next book I want to talk about is Player by Claire Contreras. She's one of my favorite new adult authors. The book is called The Player, and if you're into kind of like a sporty romance, this is a good book for you. It's about a soccer star who comes to New York because he has some financial holdings in a company, and he meets this young woman who is in the process of fighting his company to keep her building since they're going to redo it to make high rises. They kind of come together, and it's a lot of push and pull and a lot of angst, and I love those kinds of stories. It was a slow start for me just because I wasn't a fan of the male lead, Warren. I wasn't a huge fan of him in the beginning, but he does grow on you, and he does become less of a horn dog, and so it got better for me. The next book I want to talk about is the last book in the Beautiful Bastard series. I talk about those books quite often. I absolutely love them. They're some of my favorite books. And so Christina and Lauren wrote the last book in the Beautiful Bastard series. It's called Beautiful. And this book follows Jensen, who is Hannah's brother from the third book, which is my favorite book, Hannah and Will. So it's Hannah's brother and Will's best friend. And then Pippa, who is Ruby's best friend from Beautiful Secret. Got it? So it's like the last book. It's like they were kind of grasping at straws on who to pick. But it is amazing. And like the whole gang is in this book. I really liked it just because Pippa reminds me a little bit of myself when I was younger. And so it was kind of fun reading a character that reminded me of me. It's definitely adorable, just like the rest of the books. Very fluffy, very steamy read. So if you're looking for something middle ground, smut, middle ground, fluff, this is a good one to go with. And the last e-reader book that I want to talk about is the newest release from R.S. Gray. This just came out on the 31st of January, and it is super adorable like the rest of her books. It's called Anything You Can Do. There we go. Anything You Can Do. And it is a super fluffy, cute read. It's something perfect to read for Valentine's Day, I think. It is adorable. It's one of my favorite romance tropes, the hate to love. These two are thrown together. They're rivals from the time of their children all the way till adulthood. They go back to their hometown and are fighting over a family practice. They're both doctors fighting over this family practice, and it's so good. I just finished it a couple days ago, and I want to immediately reread it. It was so cute. All right, so now let's talk about some of the physical books that I have. First series that I want to talk about is actually by one of my favorite new adult authors, Jay Crownover. So I've talked about the Marked Men books a lot in my videos. Those are some of my favorite new adult books. She has wrote off a spin-off series from those books since the last one did come out last year, called the Saints of Denver novels. And the first book in the series is Built. This book actually follows Rowdy Sister. So it does kind of follow all of the same characters that are in the Marked Men series. It's just a lot of the secondary characters that wouldn't really have fit into having their own novel in the Marked Men books. She's busting these out pretty quickly, I have noticed. There's several of these books out already. So if you are looking into some new adult that is kind of similar to that Marked Men series where it follows a different couple each book, but they're all intertwined, this is a really good series to pick up. This next book is the newest release from Colleen Hoover, and that is It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us is kind of sad. It really is, but it's still her niche, romance, and although it's sad, it's such a beautiful book. It has a really good message. It handles writing these serious topics really well. This book does, deal with domestic abuse. It has our young woman, Lily, and she has two male interests. One is in the past. She kind of does these flashbacks to a young man, Atlas, in her past, and that kind of meets up with her again in the future. And then Ryle, who is her current beau. And so it's just kind of following her kind of figuring life out. And I do love this book. It's really beautiful, and the epilogue, or her acknowledgement section, made me cry like a baby. And this whole book kind of made me cry, just like Ugly Love makes you freaking ugly cry. This book did. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. That is my recent book recommendations for the romance genre, so definitely check those books out. All of the videos that I'm going to be posting this month are going to be featuring romance novels, romance authors, and romance book talks. So everyone, keep a lookout for those. Thank you so much for watching. Owen and I appreciate it. And everyone have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.